Just nod.
Okay.
You don't need on YouTube.
I do have a gift for you, but a certain person recording right now.
What? What did I do?
You were supposed to give me the idea of which one of the 3 things.
Oh yeah, I never really got to that point.
It's okay, John.
You should have went gut instinct. Actually, if anything, do it. Let her choose.
You know what? That's probably a good idea.
Yeah? Oh,
I have 3 choices for you.
Okay, let's hear them.
1 is the Rutgers Army game at Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
2, Dragon Gate USA over at BB King's.
Okay.
Or 3, the same day. All 3 of these are the same day, mind you.
Okay.
There's a bus trip from New York to Philly for the Chikara Eye pay-per-view.
I love Dragon Gate. You guys, I'm obsessed with Yamato. You remember my Dragon Gate video, and I was going on and on about Yamato, so Dragon Gate!
And Yamato is in the main event as long as he can defend the belt in Philly.
Oh,
because it's a triple shot.
You know?
Oh, that necklace.
Yeah, it does.
I think Johnny Gargano.
You
Okay.
probably.
I think I know Johnny.
Yeah.
Okay, he can do it. I hope the scripting, has him winning. But okay. So if he doesn't win, he'll still be there. He just won't be fighting for a title.
Right.
Right.
Okay. No, then that's cool. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Decided.
I still look at you like.
Well, it's better this way. 'Cause I think you would have such a card pay-per-view.
Yeah,
and
either that.
For Dragon Gate.
Yeah.
Motto. Okay, guys, I'll be back. Hey guys, here's my margarita grande. My birthday margarita with salt.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patty. Happy birthday to you.
Are you 1? Are you 2? Are you 20? Are you 21?
Are you 22?
Are you 23? Are you 24? Are you 25? Are you 26? She wish. Are you 27? Are you 28? Are you 29? Are you 30?
Okay, so me and Ed just finished our Halloween Horror Marathon. Look at my cool glow bracelet.
We just came out of a rave on top of that.
Anyway, so we saw a really good Korean horror movie, The Eye. Not the crappy version with Jessica Alba. I have to say this every time I say The Eye. Okay.
Spoiler alert, she got boobs at the end. Maybe, right?
Okay, so just to read you some of The Eye, these are some of the reviews. Then I'll tell you what it's about. An artful, unsettling. The opening credits even concluded, The Eye had already reduced me to a state of trembling, goosebumped dread. The New York Times. Jackpot. The pangs deliver enough shivery scares to keep you up nights. Peter Travers, Rolling Stone. This is the cover. An unnerving chiller. The stylish horror film is genuinely creepy. Newsweek. Spooky. The pangs remind us that nothing is more terrifying than life, not even death. Los Angeles Times. Engrossing. The Eye casts a spell strong enough that you won't want to look away. Washington Post. All is not as it appears in this chilling psychological thriller. After 18 years of blindness, 20-year-old Munn's eyesight is restored following a corneal transplant. Immediately, mysterious black-clad figures in Munn's field of vision seem to foreshadow sudden deaths, and disfigured denizens haunt her daily. Munn slowly learns that she has inherited her donor's particular fate, the ability to see into the future and the terror that comes with it. An international box office smash, stylishly realized by the Pang brothers, the hot directorial team from Asia. Oh, God, the film has already spawned a sequel, that's okay, and caused Tom Cruise's production company to snack up the remake rights with Jessica Alba. Okay. So The Eye is a new genre classic in the League of the Ring, so it was really creepy. I don't want to give anything away, because I actually want people to see it. It was creepy. There was one part where I actually screamed out loud. I'm not going to spoil that for you. I don't even really want to tell you what the creepy moments were, but very psychological, very creepy. There was a part where I literally screamed out loud. Eddie liked it a lot too. So here, what did you think about the eye?
I gotta give it to Robert. What's that guy's name? Ebert.
Ebert.
Shut up. I'm close enough, right? Anyway, no, it was actually really good. Just even though you like I went into it looking at the plot, just trying to get a feel for what it is, but there's a lot more to it than you think it is, and that's what kind of builds up the suspense throughout the entire movie, as you know, the plot thickens towards the conclusion, which don't want to spoil, of course, but definitely recommend picking it up. The Korean version of The Eye. Definitely give it a watch.
Okay. So, can you sit close to me because we're both in this video together?
I know.
We have an annual tradition. There's a movie we watch every single Halloween. So, if you've been a long-time viewer of my YouTube channel, you may have seen my YouTube video from last Halloween. So, me and Eddie watch this every year, The Strangers. This is my favorite horror movie. So, don't know if you haven't heard of it. Liv Tyler was in this. I'll read the back and I'll talk to you a little bit about it. Explore your worst fears imaginable with this shocking suspense thriller inspired by disturbing true events. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. After a 4 a.m. knock at the door and a haunting voice, Kirsten McKay and James Hoyt's remote getaway becomes a psychological night of terror as 3 masked strangers invade. Now they must go far beyond what they thought themselves capable of if they hope to survive. So here's some of the imagery of the back. So I love it, okay? I never saw it in theaters. I remember seeing the trailer on YouTube. I thought it would be overwhelming to me. Like, I don't know, just too much to see it in theaters. When it came out on DVD, I bought it, okay? So, I don't remember, I saw it with Eddie first when he was at Rutgers, right? Then I saw it again with my cousin Alex. And then I saw it, I think, with the both of them or something. I don't know, right? But now I watch it every Halloween. It's part of me and Eddie's tradition. So I want to talk to you a little bit about based on true events. If anybody remembers when The Strangers first came out, I don't know if you were into it at all, if you were online for it. They had on the Wikipedia page, and if you Googled it, an actual story in real life that's very close to kind of what happens in this movie. Now, in the movie, I don't want to tell you too much, right? But it is a couple. They're going to a friend's wedding, okay? They're in a cabin that the guy, I guess James is his name, he grew up with when he was a kid. It's his parents' cabin, right? He's there with this girl, whatever, right? There was actually something that happened in real life where there was, I think, a family that was brutally murdered in a remote cabin in the woods. I mean, kind of like the movie. The killers were never caught. Now, this was in, I think it was early 80s, 1981. Don't quote me on that. So that's what was, they were using that to promote the movie before it came out. And the weirdest thing happened when it actually came out, and if you watch the movie at the beginning, it just says something like, every year X amount of people get murdered. And this is one of those stories, right? So it's like they didn't even mention the true story. And I know when the movie actually came out, all of the mentions of the actual case were taken off of, like, the internet. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but it's what happened. If you went back to the Wikipedia page, it just said what the beginning of the movie said. That, there's a 1 in a million chance of you getting murdered by a stranger. And just kind of like all those things, but nothing about the specific case. I thought that was weird. I thought it was creepier. Like, holy shit. Obviously, everybody knows that there are murders that happen by strangers, but it's like the actual story almost, really almost happened in real life. Like, it was a very close comparison. And to me, what scared me is, like, that person was never even caught, So it's like, that makes it creepier. So I don't know why they changed that. I don't know what that's about. So anyways, right? Very good movie. There's parts where I jump every time I see it. And this is now, like, the 5th time that I've seen the movie, okay? It's scary. There's jumps. There's parts where I scream out loud. There's suspense. There's terror. There's some violence. It's not gory. And if you know me, I hate gore. I hate movies like Saw. I hate movies like Hostel. I mean, you can kind of just tell a little bit. I mean, 1408 is another movie I like a lot. It's based off of a Stephen King novel. We also have The Uninvited, which is another sort of like psychological Korean horror movie. I like horror movies that are more psychological and creepy. I hate stuff like Hostel with Hills Have Eyes. I just think it's fucking boring. I mean, whatever, right? So, now you tell them what you think about The Strangers.
Of course.
I have to add this. I am a very paranoid person, okay? We have a ice maker, and my parents have it, right? In the kitchen, like in the, whatever, like the freezer. So, like, late at night, when it's making ice cubes, it's loud as hell, and it comes out of nowhere. So, like, I jump a lot of the times, like, when I hear it. Whatever. I used to just think that, like, I'd feel, like, a presence in the room, and I'd be like, somebody's in the house. Not in the room, the house. I'd be like, somebody's in the house, somebody's in the basement. Like, especially if I was here by myself, even if it was during the day, okay? You know, I'd, like, come into a room, and I'd be like, I didn't leave the remote control there. So, like, my mom would start playing tricks on me. There's a window in my basement, that's above where the washing machine is. And I'd be like, there's somebody out there. So it's like, The Strangers plays on your paranoia, okay? If you ever see the movie, I mean, you saw the case. I love that guy's mask. Like, that makes a lot of the movie for me. Where was I? It plays on paranoia, though. Like, a lot of the things that happen, especially to the girl in the movie, to Liv Tyler's character, just plays on that paranoia. Like, whatever, but okay. Alright, now Eddie's going to talk about what he thought about The Strangers.
I really, really actually do like The Strangers. There is a lot of surprising points about the movie itself. Just the cover overall, as she mentioned, with the mask, just knowing that that kind of feeling is hovering above you at all times and you don't know where it's coming from, really does give that factor of dread, and you never get a chance to be relieved at all at any point during the movie. I know she talked about her, there's, I guess, two other things. First, I'll get to some of the other plot points before I get to my version of something as well. As she talked about, there's a lot of things that we were talking about during the movie in regards to some of the survival tactics that they did. As it says on the back of the movie box, they must go far beyond what they thought themselves capable of if they hope to survive. I agree with that to a point. I agree with that with this movie. You know, when you watch it, you feel like you have to do what you can to survive a ominous threat that is always surrounding you. You don't know where it's coming from. But I guess a lot of the tactics that happened in the movie, we had a lot of debate about. It's just like, you know, as she said, you don't leave, you always stick together in horror movies. You always see horror movies where a lot of people will either stick together and good can come out of it, or you see a lot of movies that split, where people split up and disaster can really happen. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I just feel that you always want to stick together in any kind of real horror situation, especially with threats where you don't know where it's coming from. You always want to at least be together and always want to, you know, brave for the worst, and any survival tactic you can think of, do it together, because then you both will be able to make it out alive, because you know you're both together side by side. You know what they're going to do, they know what you're going to do, and that's what it should be based off of. My third point is paranoia. As Patty discussed, she has her own personal paranoia about little things, little noises or windows that she, you know, sees around her. My personal paranoia is the actual setting of the movie. It is based off of, as it describes when you see the intro of the movie, it is a, you know, a summer cabin in the woods, in a local rural area, I guess is the best way I could really describe it. So that's my personal paranoia. I live in an urban environment around the South Jersey area, whether it be Camden or Philadelphia, or even when I'm walking around in New York City. I guess I always like to know what's around me at all times. I mean, yeah, you can kind of say that, yeah, you know, any crime could happen around there, like shootings or anything else like that. And I understand that a lot when people bring that up, and that's fine. But my thing is, the area that it's set in is my own personal paranoia, just because it seems like if something's going down, you have nowhere to go. There's really nowhere to turn to. And I feel that a lot of this movie just rained down on me as it rained down on Patty. She had her jumping moments, but I had that overall moment where it's just like, wow, there's really nothing to do. You have nowhere to turn to. You have your own small devices. Even though they had cell phones, they had really no connection either, and that's a personal dread too, because communication is extremely important, especially if that movie was around the 80s or the 90s, so to speak, and we're in 2011 now. It's like you always like that kind of feeling, and me not being able to have that kind of feeling really, really hurts the overall mood a lot for me.